Hi Diamond Divas, this is Wanda from Wanda's Workbasket for all things creative and crafty with some inspiration mixed in. Well, I wanted to show you a present I'm finishing. It's a little late, but my mom's birthday and Mother's Day came and went while I was waiting for this kit to come in the mail, and I showed it in one of my previous videos when I was unwrapping it. And now I'm going to show you what's been happening since I've been working on it. As you can see, I have some diamonds on and some not. Now, I know I've told you, I've shared with you that the way I do the bling is to go for the biggest ones first and plant them on, so that the little ones I don't have to like keep picking off and moving to get it around one of the big ones if, for instance, it doesn't fit. I'd rather squish around the little ones, snuggle them into spot around the bigger ones. One of the things I ran into, and I wanted to show you here, is that it came with the drills, alright? I had 12, I believe up to 12 drills. I just had them on here. Or is that the other one? I'm not sure. Where are they? Where are they? Yeah, these are them. Sorry. If I'd be organized, that'd be dangerous. Alright. It came up with 12 drills, and it came in the regular packets with them numbered. It went to 7, and then it started with letters. And the letters were okay. They were easy to read. They were, 9 to 10 were like, there was a B, an L, a K, an L, I said that already, an N and an R. The problem is, there were no letters on the strip of drills, the strip of rhinestones. Instead, there were no letters on here to correspond. Instead, they just kept going from 7 to 12. So I had to look for the number 12 and find the letter that it corresponded to on here. Fortunately, at the end, they put the biggest ones. Okay, they put the biggest, special shapes. And that's what I put on first. So I'd start with the last one. So I had to look for number 12 first and put them in, which wasn't a big deal. I mean, you could easily tell what color went there. Second problem with the drills is, see how these are sunflowers, and I put the orange, yellow-orange type special shapes in there. I'm glad I had an extra stash. I had just enough to do that, because what they sent me to go in there was blue. Why would I put blue special shapes on top of an orange sunflower? That was ridiculous. So I did use the blue up here where I thought it really should be red next to the poinsettias. It's a 4 Seasons wreath, right? So you have something from each 4 seasons with the birdhouse in the middle. Tulips for spring, and poppies and sunflowers for kind of toward the fall. Then you have the sunflowers and the pumpkins for the fall. I meant summer, fall. Spring, summer, fall, and winter is the cinnamon, the orange, the poinsettia, and holly area over here, with the birdhouse and bow in the middle, with the key next to the birdhouse, and a little piece of paper with the heart-like thing on the top. So I could tell very easily what color was supposed to go where. I was very disappointed that I got blue. I might even pick off the blue that I have up here around the poinsettia. I was thinking blue, okay, that might be for winter, for ice and things. But I really love red because poinsettia is my flower, it's my birth flower. So, okay, I'm probably going to pick them off and do them again if I can. Now, it may be that I cannot do that because, move that off, that's for the snooping. Not get them confused. Oh, okay, then what I did on the strip of fabric, the strip of rhinestones, gosh, I can't even talk today, but I'm going to leave it in because this is real life. Okay, what I did on the strip then was write 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, because the numbers started at 7 again. So I wrote that on there next to the code, even though I don't need the code. See what I mean? It's just crazy. Alright, I'm going to push these off, and I'm pretty sure that I now have my Snoopy one mixed up with the Snoopy bag I've been doing. I put that aside to do this. That needed a fabric glue. This one doesn't. I'm just using Aleene's tacky glue that I put in a dollar store bottle. And what I do is I squeeze it out onto one of those myriad of plastic bags that come with the kits and that I get all smeared up anyway. That way I can just throw it out when I'm done. I don't have to clean up anything that way. What I do use, since this is so close together, I can't get this bottle tip in, and I can't find another needle tip yet. What I do use is a paintbrush, because once you get the one color in, it's really hard to get this dabbing in between them without getting it all over the place. So I put a puddle of glue on plastic bag, and then I just use the paintbrush and paint it on a little at a time where I want it to go. Right now I'm working on this end of the sunflower, putting the orange rhinestones in the center of the brown center of the sunflower. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I'll just get myself started up here, and then we can chat. We'll chat a little bit, and then I'll go into the fear chapter for today. Okay, here we go. Alrighty then. So, let me get my magnifying glasses on that have the extra light. I do like them, although I get a bump on my nose. That's really nice. Okay. It comes with different magnifying lenses, and this one's a 2, I believe. Alright, so what I'm working on, and I come around this way, I'm working on the number 6. And even though I don't have the plastic on it, except for like one part, the protective cover, I seem to hold it like a palette. I need to get it a little closer to my face when I'm doing it. So I just use it like a palette. And I have the glue. I have the drills. I have the drill pen. And again, the drill pen has the plastic nib on it. Can you see the plastic nib? That way it doesn't scratch any of the rhinestones as you're doing it. Alright, so this is my process. Let me bring it in just a little bit more. You can see what I'm doing. Okay. I just take a dab of glue. And I sometimes go from the inside out. This is easier. I do one row. If it's a see-through glue, I smear it. This isn't see-through, but I like to dot it. This paintbrush is not the one I use the most. Alright, now there are like 2 rows dabbed. Alright. Go back in. So what's been going on? Yesterday was a Saturday. I'm doing this on Sunday for you. Yesterday on Saturday, I officiated my brother-in-law's funeral. He passed in November. And 2 of his 4 girlfriends came. Not simultaneously. Please don't misunderstand. He had 4 girlfriends that he dearly loved, and we videotaped the service. It was a graveside service, and their aunt came. Now he was 50 something. If my husband's 61, then he was 5 years younger, so he was 56. And had kidney, liver problems. His organs were failing. He needed kidney dialysis but wouldn't take it, that kind of thing. He was not convinced that so many people really loved him. And they really did. He had a personality that was fabulous. He wore tie-dye almost exclusively. He was a DJ called Crazy Dave. And I found out on the internet there are 2 Crazy Daves. So if you happen to look that up, just know that the Crazy Dave that does not have all those sites. I mean, there was a lot for one Crazy Dave and not much for my brother-in-law. Maybe one of his girlfriends took the stuff down for the most part. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. He didn't like his picture taken. He didn't like publicity. He didn't think too much of himself. And hey, you know what? You never know. You do not know how many people love you and will miss you when you're gone. You just don't know. Even if you don't think highly of yourself, doesn't mean other people don't. Dave was the kind of guy, he had a very creative personality. In a way, I mean, he was a unique person all himself. If you were feeling down, he was the first one there to come and get you to laugh. Okay? He loved his niece and nephew. He didn't have any kids of his own. He looked like Gallagher, with like or Carlin, whichever. The bald spot at the top, but lots of ponytail going down, gray ponytail going down the back. He really loved to DJ. He DJ'd my daughter's wedding. He DJ'd for so many years. I mean, it was way before, I guess, the 70s, 80s. 80s was big. That's when he started. So through his trivia nights, through his DJ business, he gained a lot of friends and following. And one guy at the funeral brought a pair of big Elvis sunglasses with fuzzy fake fur sideburns and wanted to put that with the urn. My husband tie-dyed the urn. You heard it. Tie-dyed the urn. He dipped it in whatever process that he did it. And then we had a tie-dye bandana that was his that he hadn't worn yet. So we wrapped that around the neck of the urn, and we took roses up and gave a rose to everybody. And the color of the roses, and we didn't plan this ahead of time, but the name of the color of the rose was Pink Floyd. And that was one of his favorite bands. On his gravestone that we have to order yet. My husband is a computer design engineer, so he rendered it in CAD. And it has the name and dates like normal. And it has DJ Crazy Dave, and then it has a score at the bottom, a music score, the first stanza of Stairway to Heaven. Because he was the musical guy. He was the record guy. How are they looking? How are these guys looking? See how I do a section and then blob glue on for a section, and then I go back. Oop. Yeah, I gotta grab one end of this with my finger. Now, see, now this one, it may be awkward because of this is such a wide paintbrush that it's hard to just dab. If you get too much on your brush, you're lost here. And it gets gunky. The weather really threatened yesterday to rain the entire time. My husband had bought a huge umbrella, like a bigger than a golf umbrella, that he could put over his aunt and I if it rained. We weren't there. We weren't outside for very long. The gnats were horrendous. They were horrendous. But if that was the only thing that was difficult, it wasn't super hot, it wasn't cold, it wasn't rainy or windy. A little wind would have been perfect, but and my grandkids got to see where most of my husband's family, back to my husband's great-grandparents. So, from our grandkids to his great-grandparents were the generations that were there. His great-grandparents, or was it great-great? I forget. They came over from Germany in the 1800s sometime, early 1800s. I saw some 6s back here that I missed. Here, 1, 2. Get in there. You know, if it doesn't behave, at least it dries clear, you know? We are going to take the videotape out to Arizona with us. We are leaving soon. We want to show it to their father-in-law, so that he feels like he's there. Now, I gotta tell you, my brother-in-law was an agnostic, an atheist. He was baptized and raised Catholic, and he just, like so many people today, you know, don't believe in religion. They're spiritual but not religious, and that kind of thing. So, you know, we would kind of talk God, but I gave him a Christian funeral anyway, because I knew that, number one, he was a baptized Christian, and to me, and to many of our relatives, once you're baptized, God's got a hold of you no matter what you do. I believe even without that, you're God's child, no matter who you are. Whether you believe in God or not, you're still God's child. Now, the rest is up for debate. You know, are we going to be judged after death and all that kind of stuff? Are we going to have a chance to ask for forgiveness? All that kind of stuff. But leaving that to God, because I don't know the answers. I gave him a Christian funeral anyway. One of his girlfriends, one of the two that was there, past tense, he was engaged to her for a while. She, you know, when I asked for things to say, she didn't pipe in during that time. And I think the other people didn't either, because Aunt Shirley was there. So I have a feeling, and I know for a fact, they have many stories they'd love to tell and share, but that would need to awake when relatives aren't there to, like, be taped. Because he was a colorful guy. But anyway, she said something, you know, when I mentioned God the one time, she said, or, you know, whoever you call your God, you know, whoever you call God, and or whatever force, you know, or spirit you believe in, and I acknowledged that. I did. And she said something like 2 or 3 times in the middle of it, and it didn't bother me. She said she did it because she knew it wouldn't bother me. because I honor wherever the person is in their spiritual walk. I don't force my views on anyone. I am a pastor, and I would be glad to talk about spirit that keeps me going. But for my brother-in-law, I had to acknowledge in some way that even though I was giving him a Christian funeral, according to what the family feels comfortable with, I had to acknowledge too that he didn't call himself a Christian at the end. But that's what you do. That's when you're called to a family who do not have a church home, when you're called to be with someone when they're grieving or hurting, you don't ask, well, are they a Christian? And if they aren't Christian, I'm not coming. No, I'd never do that. Grief is grief. No matter what we believe, no matter what religion or not religion we are, we all have questions about the afterlife, or even if there is one. Personally, I believe there is. I want to believe there is. Because for the most part, I want to meet up again with my loved ones who have gone before. And I can't, it would make me severely depressed to know that, if I knew for sure, that there wasn't anything on this after this. Severely depressed. Because, relatives that I have dearly loved have gone on before me. In fact, next month in Arizona, we are interring my mother-in-law who passed in February. So we had my brother-in-law in November, my mother-in-law in February. So, if I couldn't see those people again, if I couldn't see my grandparents or my father again, I don't know if I could emotionally handle that. If I didn't think that maybe God would let me occasionally spy on my grandchildren when they get to be adults when I'm not here anymore, I would feel so sad. And somebody asked me the other day, we were talking about this subject. And I said, I want to live as long as I can, into my hundreds and stuff. And she said, no, I don't want to do that. Why would you want to live that long? And I said, because I'm too nosy. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what new technology comes up. I want to know if we ever have flying cars, or hoverboard skateboards, a la Back to the Future. I want to know if space travel becomes a vacation destination. Can we beam in the food? Do we ever conquer hunger and disease? And, all those wonderful things that we liked from Star Trek. That, I don't know, I'm just curious. I am too curious. Is there life on other worlds? What's Mars going to be like when we land on it? How does the history of the... Oh, yuck. Got my finger in it. How does the history of the past that I know influence the future? How does the past that I've lived through and that I've read about before I've lived, how does that influence the future? You ever ask yourself questions like that? Do you ever wonder? I do. And my friend said, well, I've never heard that one before. You're too nosy to die. I said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's just me. What else? found out my son has not yet gotten his second COVID shot. He will. Apparently he was maybe due to get it last week. But he was a bit busy. He's getting dental implants in another week or two. So he really has to get that shot, take it as soon as possible so that he's past his 2 weeks before he gets his teeth done. He's getting a new car. He showed us that. It is well, we're a Chrysler family. I grew up as a Ford family, but when I married into a Chrysler family, so no big deal. They're tanks and they saved our lives many times over. So he's getting another Charger, but an SRT. It's only 2 years old. Low mileage, has all the bells and whistles. So he's working on detailing his car today, probably, so that he can trade it in the best possible price this week. Looking forward to picking it up. We went past the lot on the way home. We went past the lot and took a look at it. Oh, it's that new blue. I don't know remember the name of it. It's the new Dodge Blue, the bright, bright blue. So I said, they'll see you coming. I usually can hear them, but, you know, my husband has a Challenger, his third Challenger, I think. And when he had a 70s Charger, 72, I believe, when we were dating, I could hear him come up the driveway. Hear him come up the road to my driveway when we were dating. So it's funny because now, well, for the past number of years, we've had Challengers and my son has had Chargers, and they both like the deep throaty mufflers. So with the blue, it's not cobalt blue, it's a different name for it. So now with the blue that my son got, I said, well, now I'll be able to see you coming as well as hear you coming up the road. So that's that. Anything else? If I get knocking on my kitchen door, it's my mom, but I've locked the door because I don't want her to see the present I am making for her. I'm hoping I'm keeping it in your eyesight, so am I? Just barely, huh? Yeah, good. Oop, more glue. Okay, before I put more glue on that and finish the pine cone, let's do our My Friend Fear by Mirali Patel. Oh, we're still only on page 46, I believe. I showed you the beautiful heart picture last time. Alright. Ever since I became aware of beauty and its value to the world, the idea of going to the beach has made me stiff with anxiety. Oh, I wonder why. I love the beach. By the time I was 6 months old, I'd had 2 corrective surgeries, leaving me with a 17-inch scar that snakes its way along the inside of my foot and up the back of my leg. Like a lot of scars, it looks like a poorly placed zipper. Like anything that makes us different, it brought out a lot of fear into my life, and it started at the beach. You know, I know we are all body conscious and overly concerned about what we look like. Does any of us go to the beach to look at other people's imperfections intentionally? I don't. It's page 49. So I have to believe that other people are there worried about their kids or their own bathing suits, or if the water's too cold, all those other kind of worries, rather than looking for people's imperfections. Mira continues, one day I was practicing how to float in salt water, and on the very next day I threw out all of my bathing suits. I'd learned to recognize myself as different. My friends averted their eyes when I wore shorts. My other classmates were far less kind. A boy said he'd heard about my body, the way my legs were different and ugly. He wanted to know what was wrong with me. I wanted to say that there's nothing wrong with me, but no words came out. By the time I reached age 12, I'd left the beach behind. It wasn't a place for me. I wanted to feel the salt on my skin, in my hair, the hollowness that enters my lungs after spending too much time in the water. I wanted to remember the sun looking down on the sea, light fractals reflecting like thousands of mirrors lining the horizon. I wanted to collect a memory of myself completely immersed in the magic of it all. Light, water, body, all as one. Pressed so closely together that I could no longer find where I ended and the ocean began. I wanted to return, to remember feeling free. And that's her next watercolor. I want to remember feeling free. She continues on page 51. Instead, I thought about bathing suits, bikinis or one piece, boy shorts or string. No matter what I chose, someone would see the scar, and I'd feel their eyes seeing it. I briefly considered the option of a wetsuit, all too aware that the idea was as ridiculous as the fear that kept me indoors. I thought about bodies and their imperfections and why we carry them around as unforgivable symbols of who we really are. I thought about my legs and how often I wanted to trade them in for another set, a forgettable pair. I wanted to fade into the background for years. You know, for the moment, I'm going to stop there. A lot of our fears can be body conscious. For whatever reason. Some have acne, some have like cystic fibrosis or something you can't hide. I was short. I am short. Still. And I've learned to like that. You know, when my boyfriend, now husband, said that it didn't matter to me, it didn't matter to him, and he actually liked it that I was small enough to cuddle. You know, it made me feel good. It made me feel like I was wanted. And he always told me how beautiful he thought I was, and all that. So I think once you know somebody loves you for the way you are, it helps. But you have to start loving yourself first. You have to say, I am worthy of being on this planet, no matter what others think. It's not your body that really matters. It's your personality. It's who you are, not what you look like. It's your personality. And I had to realize that if I wanted friends, I had to be a friend. If I was feeling insecure, then others were feeling insecure. And how can I make them feel better? How can I help them to feel better about who they are? How can I encourage others so that they too can feel good about themselves and become, and have a friend? So, me personally, I would go pick in the cafeteria that had nobody else sitting with them, or those that I heard or saw people mocking. I'd go over and be friends with them and help elevate their mood. By doing that, by making others feel good, I started to feel good. So that was just awesome. So, yeah, that was absolutely awesome. I heard a possibly heard a question out there, is why am I choosing to put the extra glue, the glue on here? Isn't there any glue on the wreath itself? Yes, there is. There is the normal glue on the wreath itself. And since I haven't tested it for months on end to see if this wreath, if hung outside, would survive a rainstorm, I decided to use the tacky glue on top of the glue that they have. Not on top of the plastic protective sheet, but on top of the glue that they have, that they put down. I do that for fabric. I do that for keychains. I do that for journals. I do that before, you know, I do put a coat of polyurethane on top of things too, to make sure that they're all sealed in. And these are things that take a lot of wear and tear. Things that'll be out in the elements. Things that'll be bumped up against other things. And I don't want the diamonds to fall off. So I use the extra tacky glue on it. I'm sure you can use other glues. There's E6000 out there, but that just seems a bit strong for this. And expensive for this. A nice big bottle of tacky glue is... And fabric tack. You need fabric tack if you're going to do the tote bags or the journals or something like that. Because they are guaranteed to stay on that way. Now if one bead or so falls off and you've already done that, it may be because you forgot to put glue underneath that one. I'm sure these are good enough to stand up to whatever. I'm hoping that whoever sold these at least tested that. But if I'm going to give them away or sell them, I don't want them to be less than my best. I don't want them to have the hassle of fixing it. Or bring it back to me so I have the honor of fixing it. Okay, so speaking back about bodies, I wonder, is that why, I mean, health reasons, yes, we all need to watch what we eat and get more activity in, because it's more healthy. You have more energy. You can do more that way. And I'm working on it, guys. I have never been this heavy in my life. And I have gained and lost weight over the years. Yo-yo dieting. Heck, I went on the big WW diet and gained some weight. Ridiculous. And I was really trying to work the system then. I don't know if I should go for gastric bypass or not. It would make me healthier. I imagine I'm pre-diabetic. My A1C and all that stuff comes out that I'm not diabetic. Even though my diet is trash. And I'm heavier than I ever was before. I know there are wonderful gals on YouTube that are working their system and they're doing good, and you know, I used to see the ads on TV. Oh, I lost 30 pounds. Oh, I lost 40 pounds. I look this good. You know, it doesn't always work that way. They don't tell you that you have extra skin after that, if you have a lot to lose. They don't tell you that it takes more than 30 pounds and just eating one way, that you have to exercise too. And I don't know about you, but if I'm being honest, I hate to exercise. To me, it's a waste of time just moving my limbs back and forth. And I know. It's not a waste of time because it makes me healthy. But it's just so doggone boring. Okay, headphones. I get that. Okay, I do headphones. Alright, let me double check to see if I have all the 6s done on here now. There's a couple down here that I missed. Oops. I flipped off here. I found 2. Where did I find the 2? I'm just going to show you. Here they are. Here they are. Okay. That's where our eating disorders come from. And it's really not to please us so much. At least, not in my case. It wasn't just so to please me. It was also to please my husband. It was to please others, and so I wouldn't get teased anymore. I think that was the worst of it. Alright, now I have to go to number 5. That was 6. I'm moving on to number 5. Alright, put that temporarily to the side. And remember how I do my baggies? I'll show you in the back batch I cut next. Did I bring any plain ones? Don't know that I did. There's one. Okay. I didn't look to see what time I started, so you'll have to let me know when my time is up. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah, I can sympathize with Mira. I was thinking while I was reading that when she said the scar up the back of her leg, I was thinking, well, if she put one on the other side, then it would look like she was wearing stockings, right? Or is that too silly? Here. And this one, number 5, should be... Oh, they're clear. Okay. Alright, I cut the top off the whole baggie. I dumped a bunch of them. Here, there we go. I cut off the number, just the number, from the baggie. Throw that away. The other away is trash. And put it in the baggie, because then if I need to go back, if I missed a number, and I need to go back and figure, oh, what was that color? I will have the number right on the baggie. Usually I don't need to go back, but I start and stop at the same place on it. So right now, the only piece of plastic I left was on here, and I think I need to take it off now. Because the 5s are here on the key and on the tag. So now I have to be very careful where I put my hands. I'll start with the key down here. And why do I dot it instead of just smearing it full of glue? If I smeared it full of glue, since the glue dries clear, what would then happen is you would see the circle underneath the glue. If I misplaced the diamonds, like say beside the circle or half on the circle or whatever, you would see the circle. And then I'd be forced to pick at it until I popped it off and re-glue it in the right place. That would drive me nuts. Oh, there's a couple 6s I bumped over, wasn't there? Oh, too late. Losing some rhinestones here. Yeah, for the most part, they're pretty good. Nope. Right side up. So, what challenges have you had with the way you feel your body is? Has it prevented you from ever doing anything that you really wanted to do? Like Mira loved the beach, but she didn't go because she was afraid of what people would see when they looked at her. So it put a kink in her lifestyle. It kept her from that happiness. So have you restricted yourself because you weren't happy with yourself? You're worried too much about what other people might think of you? I have a hard time getting into a bathing suit. Not just because of my weight, but because I don't want people to see my back of my legs, and I don't want people to see how heavy I've gotten. I have a problem with family and friends even seeing it. Especially when a friend decides they then need to make it their mission in life to make sure that you're doing what they think is healthy for you. And it comes off as pushy and just too much. Anybody ever have a friend like that? I mean, I love this friend to dear life, but just don't make me your mission in life is all I'm saying. And don't make me feel bad or feel guilty for the choices I've made in life. I know I've made some bad choices. Everybody has. But if you make me feel guilty for them, that means it makes you more than and me less than. And it makes me afraid to be around you. Anybody else feel that way too? We worry far too much about what others think. And others are worried far too much about what others think about them to ever think about you. That kind of goes both ways, right? When I was a teenager, my mom used to say, "Oh, they're so too self-absorbed to worry about what they are thinking and feeling." Then that's funny. Than to worry or think about you so much. I guess it is kind of narcissistic to think about yourself all the time like that. So there are just times in your life where you have to forget about what you think the world wants, what you think others want of you, and just say, you know what? I need to be me. I need to be happy. I just need to relax. And let things work out as they do. Because if your friends and family can't accept you for who you are, there's plenty of people out there who will. Yep. That's what guilt trips do. They make you feel less than. And to be honest, if anybody makes me feel less than, I just want to eat more. Not less. Shaming people does not motivate them to do better. Shaming just brings up the defenses, brings up the walls. You stand your guard where you are, and you don't change your attitude or actions at all. You say to yourself, how dare they? Or you say to yourself, yeah, I guess I must be what they're shaming me about. You internalize it, or you get mad. And internalized pain becomes anger. Sorry for the psychological lesson today. I know I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a licensed therapist, but heck, I've been going to some for so many years, I kind of know what they say before they say it. Yeah. That doesn't make it any easier to deal with. Because every day is a new challenge. So, yeah. Am I letting you see what I'm doing here? I really hope so. I hope I've encouraged you a little bit today. I'm still waiting to find out her reasons for why we need to make friends with fear. I know there's some good sides to it, some good points to it, so we will get to them. Right now, I believe Mira is just discussing the types of fear she sees in people's lives, in her own life. I mean, oh, this will be interesting. I've got to wash out my brushes and get back to how to dot them here. I have one more brush I could use, but I think it's too big. Come on, glue. Then under the fan here, I think it's a little bit too cool. Oh my gosh. I have to tell you. One of the most fun game shows of the summer. It was on last fall or last summer. I don't know if you're watching it too, but it's called Holy Moly. It's about miniature golf and really, really crazy holes. They try to knock people into... It's like super sloppy double dare for adults, only it's mini golf. Oh my gosh, it is hilarious. If you're able to go back and look at past seasons, start with them first. I mean, it's either totally stupid, which it is, or it's hilarious, which it also is. And maybe you'll enjoy it too. If you need a good laugh in your life, that's it, man. That is just so it. Another thing I think going around that is making some people laugh, and many others groan. You know, people are talking about dad jokes. They're coming up with the dumbest, the dumbest jokes. Just sort of, you know, stuff that a dad would pull on an elementary school kid. Put your favorite dad joke down below. I'd love to read your dad jokes. They're so popular right now. Ugh, this is terrible. And this one's full. These two need to be washed off. I still have one. I don't want to stop painting yet. I'm not done gluing yet. Yeah, look, this whole card is. I probably should have put the 4 in there first, but I'll leave enough room. Yeah. The glue is getting goopier. When the glue is more plastic bag than glue, then you need to put another squirt of glue on your plastic bag. Yeah. Come on, you. So I hope I have encouraged you today. I hope that you feel that when you look in the mirror, you know, thank your body. Whether you like it or not, thank your body for carrying around the awesome personality within it. Thank your body for keeping you alive, for allowing you to experience cold rain, a warm shower, the heat of the sun, snow on your forehead or tongue, the taste, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the textures of life. Thank your body for helping you learn to read and write, for helping you express your creativity, being able to think things through, problem solve. For the way your brain works, connecting everything in your whole body so that it works without you even thinking it. You're breathing right now, and you didn't think about it until I said something, probably. Your heart's beating. Your blood's flowing. All that is happening without your conscious thought. In the back of your mind. It's doing all that work for you. There's one there. And you don't even have to think about it. If you'd like this video, down below, like and subscribe. Please let me know if this has been any way encouraging, if you've gotten anything out of it more than just someone to craft alongside of. Oh, I'm going to be doing some new stuff too, not just diamond painting. I'm going to be working with junk journals when I get back from Arizona. I'm going to be trying my hand at watercolor. I'm going to be doing quilling. That seems to be a hot craft again. I did many years ago, and I used to like making cards with quilling. So I will do some of that. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop if there's anything there you might like. Drop me a line and tell me you've seen these videos, and I hope and pray that I will see you again sometime. So, for all seasons, back out here. A little bit more. So, in all seasons, bright and beautiful, I wish you a blessed day, week, month. I hope to see you back here soon. And let me know how I can encourage you today. Because you encourage me just by clicking the like button. Thanks very much. Bye.